Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Automation Testing Insider. So in the previous video, we talked about the complete roadmap which we are going to learn in this AI series. Now today we'll focus on some fundamentals of AI. Correct. So these are the terms which we have been hearing nowadays and we have been using as well, but we don't exactly know what is the concept behind it and how they are related, right? Like artificial intelligence, machine learning, artificial intelligence, AI, ML, deep learning, generative AI, large language model, prompt engineering, and agentic AI, right? So these are the different terms which we should know before we start using any AI tools or when we work with AI concepts, right? So these are very important, guys. Until unless if we don't know, then it would be very difficult when we start using any AI techniques or AI tools when we implement in our process, right? So today we'll focus on all these terms and we'll understand, right? So let's get started with the first thing. So the question comes here is, why should testers learn AI? Correct. So don't just learn the AI because the other teams are using or development team is using or any other teams are started using AI. You should have your own idea why you are going to implement AI in your process. What is your requirement, right? So in today's world, if you see, testing is no longer about writing the test cases, executing the test cases, creating defects, or writing automation scripts. Correct. AI will help us in many ways. Correct. So AI now help us with many of these kind of activities, like it can generate the test cases. It will generate automation scripts. We can generate test data. We can we can analyze the failures and we can create the defects. So these are the different activities we can perform in our process, in our testing process, or I would say in our testing life cycle. So if you see, testers who know how to leverage AI will be more productive and efficient than who do not, right? Those who do not. So take an example, like let's say you are applying for a job and you are very well versed with your testing skills, like manual testing, automation skills, but you don't know like AI, right? You haven't implemented AI till now, and there is another candidate who is well versed with all those things like manual and automation things, but he knows AI as well. He implemented some AI in his process, so definitely the advantage would be given to the other candidate, right? That's how you need to understand it, and this is today's like demand. Like you should adopt AI in your process. What is your you need to understand like what is your requirement and how to implement it. That is the main idea of this series which we are going to implement in our this complete series. And AI will never replace testers, okay, but we can use our process, we can better our process using AI. So basically it will always be AI plus testers. It is not like AI versus testers. So it is not going to like it is never going to be happen like it will replace the testers. Okay, so this is how you should learn AI and you should implement in your process. So if you talk about the first thing, what is artificial intelligence? So let me give you an example so that you can understand better. So let's say in your email box you received an email saying that congratulations, you have won 10 lakhs rupees and click below to claim your rewards, something like that. You received an email, right? Now that looks like a spam email, right? So how do you know that? So it is based on your experience. You might have already seen that kind of email and it says like congratulations, 10 lakhs rupees, claim your reward, and there is a link, suspicious link, right? So these are the different things which you, based on that, which you have identified like that is a spam email based on your experience, because you have already seen that kind of email earlier. So that is your intelligence, right? Human intelligence. and you have, based on your experience, you have just identified that is a spam email. In the similar way, just think about the computer system, like how we, if we provide certain data to the system or certain rules to the system, then how it will identify, right? So the same way system will also think based on the data, it will identify whether that is spam email or not, right? So basically, artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer system to perform tasks that normally requires human intelligence, correct? So because of certain rules, we have certain data we have provided, like if it contains like congratulations, you have won 10 lakhs rupees, some amount, and then click here some suspicious link, and based on that it will identify, the system will identify that is a spam email, and later on the action will be taken, like it will be moved to the spam email or you will delete it, right? So this is nothing but the artificial intelligence. So basically, artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer system to perform that kind of tasks that normally requires human intelligence. So certain examples includes like email spam detection, which we just talked about. Another example would be Google Maps, okay, route and traffic recommendations. So whenever you go to office or whenever you go to any destination, then it will recommend some best route, right? When you open the Google Map, based on the road condition, based on the previous like traffic conditions, based on the hours and all, it will recommend you the best route, correct? So that's how it will identify the Google Maps the best route for you, right? That is nothing but the artificial intelligence, based on the artificial intelligence. So first one is spam detection, second one is route and traffic recommendations, another one would be Netflix and YouTube content recommendations, right? So whenever you watch certain kind of content frequently, then it will always recommend that kind of content only. Whether if you talk about Netflix, it will give you that kind of content, series or movies, that kind of recommendations. Even in YouTube, like if you watch shorts or if you watch long videos as well, it will recommend that kind of videos frequently. Similar way in like your other social networking sites as well. And voice assistants, right? So it's speech and language understanding. So if you talk about the examples like Siri or Alexa, right? Those are the examples of AI techniques which we use, like voice assistants there. So these are the different examples of AI where uh, we use artificial intelligence, right? AI systems can also learn patterns from large amounts of data and use those patterns to make predictions or decision, which we will come to learn in the next slide, right? When we talk about the machine learning. Now, this is the next step, guys, machine learning. So just take the previous example, like we have received an email saying that congratulations, you have won 10 lakhs rupees, click here to claim your rewards or something like that, right? Now let's say, and we have provided certain keywords and certain rules to the system, right? Like 10 lakhs and congratulations and click here or something like that. Now let's say a spammer or hacker is completely changed the email pattern. So let's say this time we receive something like, you have been selected for a special reward, click here to claim your reward or something like that, okay? Or click here simply, you have been selected for a special reward, click here. Now the things are completely changed, right? Now it may not work based on the previous rules, we get trapped, correct? Now what we'll do, so here comes the machine learning. So machine learning allows computers to learn patterns from data and use those patterns to make predictions or decisions. So basically what we will do for the good email or genuine email, we'll provide number of data. Let's say we have provided 1 lakh emails, and for spam email we'll provide thousands of emails, like 100k, and here also 100k. So based on this data, it will identify, the system will identify what is the pattern of spam email, right? And then it will identify, right? So that is nothing but the machine learning. Machine learning allows computers to learn patterns from data. So we have provided the data here, lots of data we have provided, and use those patterns to make predictions or decision. So based on that, it will predict that that is a spam email. The example which we have given, like you have been selected as a you have been selected for a special reward, click here, something like that, right? So that will be identified as a spam email. So machine learning is a subset of AI. This is the next step, like it is a subset of machine learning in a advanced level, right? I mean, in next level, it's next level of AI, or you can say subset of AI. Now if you talk about the example, so basically it uses data plus examples, and from that it learns the pattern, it learn the patterns, and then predict or take the decision. So basically, if we talk about the traditional programming, so we just provide certain rules, right? We just provide the data plus rules. So let's say, I would say, how to identify even or odd number, right? So the number which is divisible by 2 is even number, right? If not, then that will be odd number. So what we have done in the traditional programming, here we have provided data and rules, correct? We have provided certain rules and data. So that's how it will be identified as even or not odd number. Now with AI, what we will do, we need to provide large amount of data. So we will provide like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we'll provide large number of data, and based on that it will identify which one is even, which is odd, right? So that is how machine learning works. So basically here we provide the data plus examples, and based on that examples it will learn the patterns and then take the decision. This is machine learning. Now if you go ahead one step, right, further, then here comes the deep learning. So deep learning is a type of machine learning that uses neural networks. So this is no new concept, neural networks with multiple layers to learn complex patterns. So let me give an example. So let's say we have provided one image to the system, correct? And let's say we have provided 1,000 images, and I ask system to identify the dog in that image, on those images, and some of it contains dogs and some don't, right? And we have multiple, other animals as well. So how it will identify which one is dog, which what are the images which contains dog? So that will be very difficult, right? Based on the previous rules, whatever we have learned so far, like AI and machine learning, it is difficult to identify what are the images which contains dog. So basically it will check, like it has 2 ears and 2 eyes, certain shapes or something like that, and then it will identify that is dog. But that may be wrong, right? Because we have other animals as well. Now what it will do, so here comes the deep learning uh, things, right? Neural networks. So it works on the work on the basis of neural networks, that is nothing but the multiple layers. So it will identify the pattern based on multiple layers. So how it will identify? It will identify for example, like it will identify based on the edges and lines, it will identify based on the shapes and patterns, and then eyes and ears and colors as well. So based on that it will identify and look for the images which contains those parameters, right? So deep learning is subset of machine learning, and examples are image recognition, speech recognition, computer vision, and natural language processing. So these are the different examples of deep learning, right? We'll talk about it, deep learning as well, like what is neural networks, multiple layers, natural language processing as well, how it will identify based on the different languages. So yeah, NLP will talk more about it later on, but this is at this point of time, I think this is the base example which I can give you, and you can understand in that way. Okay, so it works on the multiple layers. So as I said, like it will identify based on different layers. So layer 1, it will identify the lines and edges, and layer 2, it will identify the shapes and patterns, and layer 3, it will identify based on the eyes and colors, eyes and ears, and then layer 4, it will identify colors. So similarly, it will identify based on these kind of parameters, and then finally it will come to the conclusion like that is dog. So this is about the deep learning, guys. Now if we talk about what is generative AI, right, we talked about AI, ML, deep learning. Now let's talk about generative AI. What do you mean by generative AI? So the name says it like generative. Generative means it generates something. So generative AI creates new content, generate new content instead of simply analyzing existing data. So till now we talked about, when we spoken about AI, machine learning and deep learning, we talked about the existing data, right? Now generative AI talks about the new data, how it generates the new content. So it can generate text, images, videos, code, documents. Examples are ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Cloud, Gemini, whatever tools you have been using nowadays, like ChatGPT, which are more popular, like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Cloud, Gemini. These are all generative AI, which generates new contents for you. If you ask like write login test cases, it will generate all the login tests related test cases, right? If you ask any image, it will generate the image. If you ask any video, it will generate the video, right? And if you ask any automation code, it will generate the automation code as well. So that is nothing but the generative AI. Now if you talk about what is LLM, large language model. So LLM is the engine behind tools like ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini and Copilot, all these generative AI tools. So basically it works on the basis of LLM. All these tools works on the basis of LLM, large language model. So what is LLM? In simple terms, a language model is trained on a huge amount of text and learns patterns in language, right? So basically it is like huge amount of text and learns pattern in language. So let's say we ask system to write the test cases for login test, so it will just generate based on the language, it will generate the test cases like login test, right? If you say, so simply if you give some simple prompt, then it will give some login test like 3-4 test cases, right? If you specify like login test cases with positive and negative scenarios, so then it will generate more test cases based on what we have provided, like based on the language, right? So it learns patterns in language. It learns pattern in words, sentence, code, documents, questions and answer, and many other forms of text. So popular LLMs are ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini, and Llama, and these are the companies which provided those tools, like OpenAI. ChatGPT is from OpenAI. Sorry. Anthropic from Cloud, Google, Gemini, and Meta, Llama, right? Hope you understand this large language model. Now, if we talk about the prompt, what is the prompt? So whatever you write, sorry, excuse me, thank you. So if you talk about the prompt, what is the prompt, right? So whatever you provide to the LLMs, any question or any queries, that will be treated as prompt, right? So a prompt is simply the instruction or question that you give to an AI system, right? So examples: create test cases for login page, and create 10 functional test cases for login page containing username, password and login button, include positive and negative scenarios in a table. So there are two types of prompts over here, right? So in the first prompt we have given like create test cases for login page, and here we don't specify any other things, right? And in the next prompt we have given create 10 functional test cases for a login page containing username password. We have specified certain other things as well. So which one is good prompt? So this one is a very good prompt, right? Because here we have specified our requirements. Here we have just provided the login test cases, right? So it may not give all the positive negative scenarios, but here it includes the positive and negative scenarios. So the prompt engineering is very important. We'll talk a little bit more about the prompt engineering, but for now I think at this point I think the basic understanding should be enough, like what is prompt, how to, what is good prompt, what is bad prompt. So it is simply the instruction or question that you give to an AI system. Now here comes the agentic AI. What is agentic AI? It is the next evolution of AI. Okay, so here we have given some examples. So let me explain you what is agentic AI basically. So if you, till now we talked about AI, ML, deep learning, and generative AI, LLMs, and all, right? Now let's say you open the chat GPT and you ask write the test cases for this system. So let's say we have banking application, right? And we have certain tabs in banking application, right? And you'll ask chat GPT to write the test cases. So what it will do, it will write the test cases, but it will be generalized test cases, right? Let's say you uh, ask to write the test cases for creating the loan. So it will simply, based on the general uh, predictions or from the previous data, it will just generate generalized test cases. It will not based on your system, right? Now what will you do? Is it useful like those test cases? Not, right? It will not be useful. So what you will do? So here it comes the agentic AI. So we'll create, that is the main idea behind this series. So we are going to create agents. So we will create the agent which will work for us, which will integrate with our system, and it will generate the test cases, which will says all these steps, right? Which will generate the all these test cases with proper steps. So that will be useful, right? And that will be integrated, let's say Jira tool or any test management or project management tool we have. It will simply integrate to our tool as well. So that is the work of this agent, right? So that is the main idea about this agentic AI. So basically what it does, it will work based on certain requirements like goal, and then plan it and then act upon it. Whatever instruction we have provided to the agent, it will work upon it and then observe the results, whether that is like what is the result, right? And then decide, right, what is the result, and then based on our instruction it will act again. So this is how it will work, like agentic AI. Now if you relate all these terms, how all these terms connected, so AI is the main umbrella, where ML is the subset of AI, DL is the subset of AI, and we have generative AI, which we talked about creating new contents, and LLM, large language model, the model which we use in those generative AI, right? And using all these concepts, we use agentic AI. We create the agents which take actions to achieve our goals. So this is all about whatever terms we use today, we have learned, right? Now one more important thing to remember, right? Whenever we use AI is powerful, but AI is not always correct, guys. So always whenever you use any tool, review it, validate it, test it, and then use it. So this is very much important, right? So whenever your AI generates code or generates new content, always remember to review it properly, We cannot 100% rely on AI as of now or in the future as well. Always manual validation is very important, so always review it. I know it simplifies our process, but at the same time review is also important. So this is all for today. Hope you like the video, and if you like it, then please click the subscribe button and click the notification icon so that you'll get the notification for the further videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.